Here's the question no one wants to ask out loud. Why are so many men happier alone than they ever were in relationships? Right now, something unbelievable is happening. Women are posting videos asking, "Where have all the good men gone?" Meanwhile, men are in their apartments grilling steak, gaming, lifting, sleeping well, and feeling more at peace than they have in years. Everyone assumed men couldn't function without companionship, that loneliness would break them, that the need for affection would force them back. They were wrong. Men aren't collapsing, they're rebuilding, and the shockwave of this reality is echoing everywhere. Let me show you a real example. One of my clients, a 41-year-old police officer, solid guy, disciplined, calm under pressure, the type who runs toward danger when everyone else runs away. But inside his own home, he felt like he was walking on glass. For years he lived under a microscope, not because he was doing anything wrong, but because everything he did became wrong in her eyes. How he folded his uniform after a 12-hour shift. How he chewed too loudly when he finally sat down to eat. How he spent an hour restoring old watches, his one peaceful hobby, and she called it childish. How he parked the car 2 inches off her alignment. How he forgot to text during a crisis at work, because he was literally handling a crisis at work. Death-defying bravery outside, constant judgment inside. After the divorce, he told me something that hit hard. I didn't realize how heavy the house felt until I lived alone. Now I breathe like a human again. He cooks what he wants, sleeps like a stone, lost weight, looks sharper. And when I asked if he's dating again, he laughed. Why would I go back to a battlefield where I'm the enemy? The pattern is painfully predictable. It starts with something tiny. You bought the wrong brand of milk. A harmless mistake turns into you never listen, which becomes you don't care, and somehow escalates into you're ruining my life. 30 minutes later, you're standing there apologizing for simply existing, still trying to understand how milk turned into a meltdown about the entire relationship. This isn't communication, it's emotional chaos disguised as a conversation. And the tragedy is that men stay loyal even when the relationship stops being livable. We're wired to fix things. If something's broken, we push harder. If she's unhappy, we take the blame and try to improve. If we're criticized constantly, we assume we failed somewhere. So men remain in situations that drain them completely, years, sometimes decades, believing persistence will eventually pay off. Meanwhile, everything starts collapsing around them. Friends fade away because she didn't approve of them. Hobbies disappear because she complained about them. Family grows distant because every visit turned into tension. He gives up piece after piece of his life to keep the peace. And what's the reward? More criticism, less intimacy, zero appreciation. Until one day he realizes he's not living anymore. He's just existing, a shadow of the man he used to be. This slow build-up of resentment eventually pushes men to a breaking point, and it rarely arrives with fireworks. It comes with a quiet click. Maybe it's yet another argument about something meaningless. Maybe it's seeing a divorced friend genuinely smile for the first time in years. Maybe it's realizing you haven't felt peace, real peace, in forever. Suddenly, solitude doesn't look like loneliness anymore. It looks like breathing again. No more walking on eggshells, no more constant tension, no more carrying emotions that aren't yours to carry. Some men are expected to absorb every storm their partner feels. Her career stress becomes your responsibility. Her insecurity becomes your job to fix. Her social drama becomes your battlefield. Her family issues become your burden. At what point did men become responsible for managing another adult's entire emotional climate? Here's the truth most people avoid. Happiness comes from within, not from a partner, not from gifts, not from reassurance. If someone is chronically dissatisfied, no gesture, no vacation, no amount of effort will fill that void. You can be supportive, stable, caring, and it still won't be enough because the problem isn't your effort. It's the unresolved weight they're carrying inside, even if blaming you feels easier than facing the real source. A lot of people walk into relationships carrying wounds they've never confronted. They don't want a partner. They want someone to regulate their emotions for them. They expect you to heal traumas you didn't create, fill voids you didn't cause, and fix problems that existed long before you entered their life. That isn't a relationship. It's emotional labor disguised as love, and most men don't realize they signed up for it until they're drowning. People say, don't date projects, but no one explains what a project actually looks like. It's the person who needs reassurance every hour, who spirals over the smallest inconvenience, who has conflict with everyone, work, friends, family, who calls themselves the victim in every story they tell, who says they want stability while creating instability everywhere they go. And when someone shows you they can't manage their own life, believe them. You are not the exception. You're the next chapter in a pattern they've repeated for years. Then the perfectionism begins, quietly, relentlessly. Everything must look flawless. The apartment, the dates, your career, your body, your mood. Suddenly, your real life is being compared to strangers' highlight reels online. She sees a couple's perfect vacation photo, not the debt behind it. She sees her friend's romantic relationship, not the secrets hiding underneath. But somehow, you're the one failing because you can't meet fantasies that were never real to begin with. Some people keep mental scorecards that guarantee failure. They remember every mistake since day one. The anniversary you forgot years ago still counts against you. But the 1,000 things you did right? Gone. Selective memory becomes the default. No matter what you do, the scoreboard keeps you behind. Do the housework. You did it wrong. Don't do it. You're lazy. Bring flowers. You must feel guilty. Don't bring them. You don't care. Spend time with friends. You're prioritizing them. Don't have friends. Now you're too dependent. Every choice has a criticism waiting on the other side. Then come the contradictions. Be successful, but always available. Work hard, but never be too focused on work. Be masculine, but soft enough emotionally. Lead confidently, but also split everything evenly. Be assertive in bed, but gentle everywhere else. These aren't expectations, they're impossibilities. You're not failing to reach the standard. The standard is designed so it can't be reached. This is why modern dating quietly pushes men towards solitude. After years of being told they're never enough, being alone doesn't feel lonely. It feels like relief. No impossible standards, no constant tension, no emotional chaos, just peace. Quiet, steady, and drama-free. Your time becomes yours again. Your money stays yours. Your energy returns. Your life belongs to you. More men now choose mental calm over complicated relationships, and this shift is massive. We pick video games over arguments, the gym over therapy sessions we didn't ask for, hobbies over endless to-do lists, and peace over conflict, because we've learned that bad companionship drains you faster than solitude ever will. People are noticing that men are stepping back. Fewer approaches, less interest in dating apps, less urgency to commit. Not because men are broken or afraid, but because they've evaluated the trade-offs and decided they prefer a life they can control. Men are pouring energy into work, family, hobbies, and personal space. Building careers without financial tension, pursuing interests without criticism, keeping friendships without jealousy, seeing family without conflict. And for the first time in history, ordinary men can create full, meaningful, satisfying lives with or without a relationship. Social media has quietly warped romantic expectations. People compare their real relationships to the highlight reels of strangers, the staged proposals, the luxury trips, the scripted perfection, and suddenly normal love feels not enough. You take her to a great restaurant, but she's comparing it to someone renting out a stadium online. There's no winning that comparison. Reality can't compete with curated fantasy. Average men feel this pressure intensely. They're expected to provide like traditional partners while navigating modern expectations that often contradict those roles. Pay for everything, but don't expect traditional structure. Be supportive, but never too protective. Lead, but never lead too much. Meanwhile, dating apps put every man in competition with the entire world. Your girlfriend can receive messages from people she'd never meet in real life, and that endless comparison reshapes how she views the relationship. The truth is, most people swipe based on idealized standards. Many rate the majority of profiles as below average, while pursuing the tiny percentage that stands out visually. This leaves a huge imbalance, a small portion of highly attractive men overwhelmed with attention, and many genuinely good men overlooked. And when those highly sought-after men don't commit, it creates a cycle of frustration. People chase the ones who give them the least, ignore the ones who would treat them well, and then feel confused when the outcomes repeat. Only when the excitement fades, often years later, do some finally start valuing traits they dismissed before: stability, character, consistency. By then, many men have already stepped back, tired of a game that never felt fair in the first place. Over the last 2 decades, men have slowly withdrawn from initiating, not because they stopped liking women, but because society repeatedly told them to hold back. Don't approach people at the gym, don't start conversations at work, don't interrupt someone's day in public. Give space, always give space. So men listened, they stepped back, they stopped initiating, they chose silence over risk. And now there's confusion about why men aren't approaching, why they're quieter on dating apps, why fewer of them take the first step. But this is the natural outcome of years of being told that their presence could be unwelcome. Men are literal. You say, don't initiate, they follow the rule. What many don't realize is that reactions vary depending on attraction. The same message or gesture feels different depending on who it comes from. That's human psychology, not hostility. Average men saw this pattern clearly. They understood that any move could be misread, so they chose the safest strategy: step back, keep to themselves, avoid unnecessary risk. At the same time, social media made everything worse. An entire wave of content promoting unrealistic standards, telling people to expect perfection, to never bend, never compromise, to treat relationships like competitions instead of partnerships. This type of messaging doesn't build stronger people. It creates isolation, turning dating into a battlefield instead of a connection. And now both sides look around, frustrated and confused, wondering why genuine relationships feel harder than ever, while many men quietly choose distance over a game that feels impossible to play. Emotional chaos destroys relationships. Screaming, crying, throwing objects. These aren't conversations. They're volatility disguised as expression. Yet there's a double standard. A man raises his voice once and he's labeled dangerous. She throws things and she's emotional. This teaches men one message: your feelings don't matter, only hers do. Many partners also assume the worst about men's intentions. Forget to text back? You don't care. Miss a haircut? You've lost attraction. Work late? You must be cheating. Men get exhausted being judged through a lens of suspicion, while their real actions have no malicious intent at all. Modern dating adds fuel to this fire. Women chase commitment from men who avoid it. Men chase basic respect from women who overlook them. Both sides compare real partners to curated online fantasies, so nobody is satisfied with reality. Dating apps turned relationships into consumer choices. Why fix problems when there's always another profile one swipe away? Why appreciate what you have when Instagram shows you 1,000 filtered alternatives? Too many options make commitment feel unnecessary, even disposable. And while men remain simple and direct in their intentions, their behavior gets interpreted through complicated stories that don't exist. Quiet doesn't mean distant. Working late doesn't mean betrayal. Sometimes a simple action is just that, a simple action, not a coded message or hidden meaning. But women create elaborate narratives about hidden meanings that don't exist. Some relationships collapse under one simple truth. For some people, being right matters more than being kind. Every disagreement becomes a courtroom, every mistake becomes a weapon, and men eventually break under constant critique. The nitpicking slowly destroys them, how they sit, how they breathe, how they load the dishwasher. Living like this makes a man feel like a guest in his own home, tiptoeing through life to avoid the next complaint. Over time, men lose themselves. They drop friends to keep the peace, quit hobbies to avoid arguments, change clothes and habits to avoid criticism. 5 years later, they look in the mirror and don't recognize who they've become. And when a man finally leaves that environment, the absence of criticism feels unreal. Simple things become freedom, eating what he wants, resting without judgment, existing without being evaluated. His health improves, stress drops, sleep returns, peace comes back. Living under constant criticism ages a man, removing it heals him. Life alone becomes surprisingly fulfilling. Money stays in his account, creativity surges back, friendships return. He remembers what it feels like to be himself again. Meanwhile, the dating market grows more chaotic. Social media sells fantasies. Apps create endless comparison. People expect perfection and offer frustration. Men aren't avoiding commitment. They're avoiding situations that drain their peace. And women are noticing men stepping back. The old tactics don't work anymore. Shaming men, guilting them, warning them about dying alone, none of it affects a man who's finally found peace. Because men discovered a powerful truth. Being alone isn't lonely when you like your life. Modern relationships often subtract more than they add. Peace is priceless. And once a man experiences that peace, going back to chaos feels insane. This isn't about hating anyone. It's about refusing disrespect. It's about choosing mental health over emotional turbulence. It's about understanding that not every relationship deserves saving. Men aren't broken or running away. They're simply choosing lives that don't hurt. They want relationships that add value, not drain it. And until they find that, they're choosing something better, themselves. A man's life changes the moment he stops begging for peace and starts building it himself. When your world is steady on the inside, nobody can shake it from the outside. So protect your calm the way you protect your goals. Keep people who add clarity. Release people who bring chaos. A man who knows his value never fears walking alone. If this message spoke to you, hit like, share it with someone who needs the reminder, and subscribe so you don't lose the momentum you've gained. Now tell me this in the comments. What was the exact moment you realized you were giving more than you were getting and decided you'd never live like that again? Your answer might be exactly what another man needs to read today. And if you're ready to step deeper, the next video shows you a way to shift the dynamic with a woman without raising your voice, without chasing, without even speaking. See you there.